Hey everyone, I'm Mark and welcome to another GameCast review. Today I'm reviewing Tekken 7, now available for the PlayStation 4, Xbox One and PC. Tekken 7 is a 3D arcade fighter spanning several console generations. This is actually my first Tekken and I was eager to jump into the series. Unfortunately, Tekken 7 isn't exactly the best starting point as there is no tutorial to speak of and the slight direction that the story mode gives you isn't enough to go on. Fortunately, the in-game practice mode and in-depth character move lists are enough to get you started, and there are multiple tutorial videos online for the basics of the franchise. There is a lot of trial and error for newcomers, as it performs differently to most other fighting game franchises. But, once you get a handle on the general flow of battle, things start to click. Animations flow together and there are visible tells as to when you can continue a combo or sidestep to avoid damage. Each character plays differently to one another and all of them have dozens of potential combos. Battles are fast and a round can last only a few combo strings, making it hard to bounce back. Fortunately, there is a new Rage Art and Rage Drive system. Rage moves can only be performed in a critical state and are a chance for a comeback. I quite like this system as it gave me a fighting chance early on and gives the gameplay a bit more of a cinematic feel. Tekken 7 is filled with unlockables, ranging from accessories, costumes, artworks, and even every single cutscene from all other entries in the franchise. But the means to unlock this content lacks a little in variety. The story mode and arcade modes are fun and definitely made up most of my playtime. However, Treasure Battle mode doesn't have much lasting appeal. It's essential if you want to unlock new accessories, but everything is randomized, so there are no real thresholds to work towards where you definitely know what your reward will be. It's also a bit annoying that these are the only modes where you can fight against the AI in a real match, as there is no versus CPU option. There's still fun to be had in practice mode, but it's hard to learn how to counter certain strategies when you both have unlimited hit points. Local multiplayer in Tekken is as perfect as any other fighting game. Zero lag, plenty of trash talk, and a dash of controller throwing. Online, however, is a bit spotty. It took me several minutes to find even a single unranked match, and even that was after I lowered my search criteria to worse connections. Most of my battles were laggy, but not unplayable. But it was also eye-opening as it gave me a reality check on just how good some players are once they've mastered combo strings and bouncing. The main story in Tekken 7 serves as a conclusion to the Mishima saga, or at least a portion of it. Having just jumped into the series, I thought that I would be lost. However, Tekken 7 does its best to fill in new players through flashbacks and summaries of the previous games. The game's extensive gallery mode helped too. Tekken 7 picks up shortly after the events of Tekken 6, where two major factions, the Mishima Zaibatsu and G Corporation, are continuing their war on economics. Heihachi Mishima retakes the leadership of the Mishima Zaibatsu and starts another Iron Fist tournament with an extra special hidden agenda this time around. The story may seem large-scale, but it's really a focused narrative about Heihachi and his relationship with his son Kazuya, where all the secrets of the family are finally laid bare. At times, the story felt too short and many major characters didn't get enough time in the spotlight or even an appearance in the main story. The entire mode is also narrated as a recount of events leading to the finale. However, it's narrated by a voice actor that is clearly disinterested. He doesn't even try to emote during dialogue that describes heartbreak and anger. There is also an accompaniment to the Mishima saga in the form of character episodes, which are this game's replacement for the sometimes wacky, sometimes serious arcade mode endings. These run parallel to the Mishima saga but don't have an impact on how that unfolds. These episodes don't do much to tell players about new or returning characters, and some stories end just when they're beginning, and it's frustrating that it feels like an afterthought. Tekken 7 has a unique presentation style. It borders on semi-realism from a basic design standpoint, but then the game throws in octopus-armored samurai and a fist-fighting bear. The main engine is good and can handle quite a lot all at once, and the in-game cinematics look great. The character models are well detailed and show an incredible range of motion, and so do the pixel-perfect hitboxes. There is also a good amount of character customization as you can play around with clothing and accessories to create new outfits or unrecognizable monstrosities. It might not be the prettiest game out there, but it definitely suits the arcadey feel of the game. The game runs very smoothly in all its offline modes, but can get choppy during online play, ranging from slight delays to noticeable lag or frozen character models. If you can play with a friend on the same couch, I would highly recommend it. Every well-timed punch and kick sounds impactful and quite painful. Softer thuds help differentiate blocks from strikes and also hint at a continuation to a combo. Tekken 7 has a diverse roster and a soundtrack to match. You can also access the old soundtracks from previous titles, which is great for fans. Most characters speak in their native languages, which is impressive, but also a bit silly when conversations go back and forth from Italian, English, and Japanese, with everyone understanding what is being said. I had the most fun sticking with a few beginner-level characters and found playstyles that suited me. This was helped immensely by the inclusion of Akuma, as I entered Tekken 7 as a Street Fighter veteran, and having a character that I knew how to play as was great. The developers did a great job of translating his moveset, retaining mostly the same playstyle while adding in a few combos. I then ended up with Asuka and Lucky Chloe as my go-to characters, as they were relatively forgiving even if I only knew about a quarter of their command list. There's a certain ballet to learning a character in Tekken, and it did feel daunting early on when I finally worked up the courage to go online. There's plenty of fun to be had in Tekken 7, even if it's from unintentional button mashing between two friends that don't quite understand the game. As much as I enjoyed my time with Tekken 7, I found myself at odds with its design. On one hand, it lacks a tutorial mode and jumps right into the main narrative, leaving newcomers in the dust. On the other, it's very accessible and I found it relatively easy to teach myself how to play. The unlockable cinematics from previous games also serve to fill in the blanks left after the credits rolled. Because of that, I feel like series veterans will be right at home and newcomers can jump in too. It just requires a little more practice than most, making Tekken 7 worth a buy. For my first foray into the franchise, it's built up my skills and made me want to dive into previous installments. Thanks for watching GameCast's Tekken 7 review. Stay tuned for more great gaming content. You can also check out our social media links below, and if you can't get enough of my voice, you can find my personal channel in the description below. Thanks for watching, and maybe I'll see you in the ring.